Time now to take a look at some of these strange and surprising inclusions in this year's budget. Editor of yourmoney.com.au, Alex Vikovich, joins us now. Alex, thank you, and thank you for trawling through the budget papers. It's a pretty fat document.
You can't just Control-F weird stuff either, I found out. There was some serious journalistic sort of work that went into this.
Yeah, much appreciated. Well, what did stand out?
Yeah, and I've got to say, firstly, you know, I've criticised government waste at times in the past, but trawling through the budget documents, most of it did seem pretty above board, important stuff, a lot of health measures and so on. I know you've had a range of experts already going through the top line stuff, but we did think it was unusual that 9.2 million going towards controlling the yellow crazy ants in Queensland. Now, I don't know.
If you are a yellow crazy ant,
you're in trouble.
You are one of the winners of this budget. No, you're one of the losers.
One of the losers. You're going to be stamped out.
We're looking for
now,
losers,
I should say this could be a serious environmental problem in the areas where they could.
If you Google it, you can work it all out.
If so, I apologise, but the fact that they're called yellow crazy ants, I think, qualifies them to be in the weird stuff.
I think so.
In the budget.
Totally.
There's just a bunch of people out there, surely, who are just punching the air going, those absolute ants, we're coming for you, finally.
What else do you find?
Unbelievable.
All right, we've got 0.3 million, so a little $300,000 allocation to support the Australian Mini Football Federation, to support the Mini Football Federation World Cup, which is coming to Perth.
Now, hang on, are we talking soccer or AFL?
So this is 5, 6, 7 or 8-a-side soccer. It's very inclusive.
Thank you.
And so we thought that was an interesting one. And obviously we'll bring you all the news when that World Cup comes to Perth later in the year, we believe. $1 million flat to update the Flying Fish Cove master plan and undertake a review of tourism on Christmas Island. Now, we thought this is interesting given all the controversy around Christmas Island. You know, this has been a detention centre that this government has been committed to for some time. And, you know, I think also in this budget has announced they may be pulling out of come July. So interesting that it's now they've come around and they're investing in tourism in the area. So that'll be one to watch as well. This next one, $17.1 million over 3 years, and this is to basically deliver 1,000 hours of Australian television in the Pacific region. So this one's interesting because, of course, it depends exactly what content they're going to be putting out there. And hopefully it's not just done on ratings alone, because I don't know if the people of the Solomon Islands really need Married at First Sight. I don't know if that's the most pressing concern that they need. But, of course, they could also get your money, which would be fantastic for them, and help them, you know, grow, protect and enjoy their wealth, which would be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, 1.5 million, or second last, 1.5 million to support the installation of a major light show in Tasmania as part of Mona's Dark Mofo Festival.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if you guys have been to this, but it's trending.
Okay.
Although I think it's quite controversial down there in Hobart because it brings these, like, crowds and crowds of, you know, of visitors that, you know, cause quite havoc at the time.
I think the Museum of New and Old Art's a bit sort of controversial down there in general, polarises people. But the idea of Josh Frydenberg and Scott Morrison sitting in a room deciding that Dark Mofo was something that required allocation, I think just gives me the giggles. So hopefully we get some footage of that when they go down there and see it in practice.
Yeah.
And one final one, which was an additional $4.3 million over 5 years for the Postal Industry Ombudsman Scheme. This is where you put in complaints about your posties. We thought this was interesting considering that that's less than former CEO Ahmed Farouk earns in a year, of course. So you know, hopefully not too many people are complaining about their posties. They do a great service.
Yeah.
Lots of important things in the budget. Great show, but these are some of the more interesting ones to watch, I think.
The top complaint being that little slip that you get to say, we would deliver this post, you know, in the post at 9 a.m, but, you know, you're there at 9 a.m, they weren't there. That is the #1 complaint from what we get from this show, I reckon.
Absolutely.
We get contacted about that all the time.
All the time. Look, I was a big fan of the ants. I also like the Pacific TV one. That's good. It was distressing how many people were still tweeting about Married at First Sight, despite the fact that the budget's happening right now. So, yes, you're absolutely right about that.
Let's hope that's not our great export story to the Pacific.
Well, apparently it wasn't their most exciting episode, so I think we've seen a lot of people tune into the federal budget tonight. The government will be happy about that, and we'll we'll see if disaffected Married at First Sight viewers make a difference in the upcoming election.
And what do you got on the website tonight, tomorrow? What's the plan?
Plenty of stuff. So yourmoney.com.au/budget 2019 is where you can get everything, all the highlights from today. The analysis, of course, continues into the night with Tiki, and then we'll have plenty more coming on tomorrow. So, you know, plenty of time for people to digest exactly the more important and also some of the lighter things that have gone on in today's budget.
And as always, the promise, jargon free with yourmoney.com.au. Thank you so much, Alex Vikovich, and to